She was half dead when she stumbled through his door. Cole Brennan looked up from the fire, coffee pot in hand, and froze. The woman swayed in the doorway, silhouetted against the purple dusk, one hand pressed to her side, where blood seeped through torn calico. Her other hand gripped the doorframe, like it was the only thing keeping her upright. "Please," she whispered. Then her knees buckled. Cole caught her before she hit the floor, barely. She was lighter than she should be, all bone and desperation. He kicked the door shut against the October cold and carried her to his bunk, laying her down as gently as he could. Her eyes fluttered gray, he noticed, storm cloud gray, and she tried to speak, but only blood-flecked breath came out. "Easy," Cole said, his voice rough from disuse. He hadn't spoken to another person in 3 weeks. "Easy now, I got you." He peeled back her shawl, lifted her dress enough to see the wound. A knife slash, deep but not fatal, if he could stop the bleeding. He'd patched up horses, cattle, even himself once after a run-in with barbed wire. A person couldn't be that different. He worked fast, boiled water, tore clean cloth into strips, poured whiskey over the wound. She screamed, a raw animal sound, and thrashed against him. Cole held her down, hating himself for it, and kept working. He stitched the wound closed with needle and thread, meant for saddle repair, his hands steadier than they had any right to be. By the time he finished, she'd passed out. Cole sat back, breathing hard, his shirt soaked with her blood and his sweat. He looked at her face, pale, sharp-featured, younger than he'd first thought. Maybe 25. Dark hair tangled with leaves and dirt, bruises on her throat in the shape of fingers. Someone had tried to kill her, and she'd run far enough to find his cabin, 15 miles from the nearest town, hidden in the pine-thick hills, where Cole had built his life specifically to avoid questions. He stood, paced to the window. No one followed her, at least not yet. The forest was quiet, just wind and the rustle of aspen leaves. He should have been relieved. Instead, his gut twisted with dread. Cole poured himself coffee, then whiskey, then just drank straight from the bottle. He wasn't a good man, hadn't been for a long time. He'd come out here to forget what he'd done back in Kansas, the men he'd killed, the blood that wouldn't wash off no matter how many years passed. He didn't want company, didn't want complications, but he couldn't throw a dying woman out into the cold. He pulled a chair beside the bunk and sat watching her breathe, shallow but steady. She'd live, probably. Hours passed, the fire burned low. Cole fed it more wood, made himself eat stale bread he didn't taste. The woman didn't wake. Around midnight, she started talking in her sleep. Fragments, desperate. "No, please, I won't tell." Then a name, repeated like a prayer or a curse, "Daniel." Cole listened, jaw tight, and said nothing. Just before dawn, her eyes opened. She stared at the ceiling, then slowly turned her head toward him. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then her gaze dropped to the bandage on her side, the blood-stained rags on the floor, and finally back to Cole. "You saved my life," she said, voice hoarse. "Maybe, thank you." Cole shrugged. "Couldn't let you bleed out on my floor." A faint smile ghosted across her lips, then it vanished. "They'll come looking for me." "Who?" She closed her eyes. "My husband." Cole's stomach dropped. "You're married, not by choice, and not for much longer, if he finds me." She opened her eyes again, and the fear in them was so raw it hurt to look at. "He'll kill me. He's tried before. This time I fought back." "You stab him?" "No, his brother." Her voice went flat. "Daniel came at me with a knife. I got it away from him, and She stopped, swallowed hard. "I didn't mean to kill him, but he's dead, and now my husband will hunt me down for it." Cole stood, walked to the window. The sun was rising, painting the pines gold. "What's your name?" "Evelyn." "Evelyn Hale." "Cole Brennan." He turned to face her. "How far do you run?" 2 days, maybe more. I don't remember all of it." "On foot." She nodded. "Bleeding the whole time." "I tied it best I could." Cole shook his head, half in disbelief. This woman had run 40 miles through rough country with a gut wound and survived. You're tougher than you look. I'm desperate. Evelyn tried to sit up, gasped, and fell back. You have to let me go. If they find me here, they'll kill you too. They don't know where you are. They'll track me. Not to here. I'm careful. No one knows this place exists. Evelyn stared at him, searching his face for something. Truth maybe, or safety. Why are you helping me? Cole didn't have a good answer, so he gave her the only one he had. Because no one helped me when I needed it. Miss Hash Hash. Evelyn slept through most of the day. Cole kept watch, rifle across his lap, eyes on the forest. No one came. By evening, she was awake again, strong enough to sit up and drink broth he'd made from dried venison. She ate slowly, wincing with each movement, but her color was better. She'd live. Tell me about your husband, Cole said. Evelyn set the bowl down. His name is Marcus Hale. He owns land near Silver Ridge, cattle, horses, half the town. People respect him, fear him. She looked at her hands. I was 17 when my father sold me to him, paid off his debts with my life. Your father, dead now, drank himself into the grave 2 years ago. No emotion in her voice, just facts. Marcus was kind at first, or I thought he was, but after the wedding, he changed. Got mean, possessive. If I spoke to another man, he'd lock me in the cellar. If I burned dinner, he'd She stopped, jaw clenched. It doesn't matter. I survived it. Until Daniel came to visit. The brother. Yes, he was worse than Marcus. Drunk all the time. Violent. He cornered me in the barn 3 days ago. Said Marcus wouldn't mind sharing. I tried to run, and he grabbed me, pulled a knife. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I got it away from him. We fought. And then he was on the ground, bleeding, staring at me like he couldn't believe I'd done it. What did Marcus do? I didn't wait to find out. I ran. Cole studied her. She wasn't lying. He'd spent enough years reading men's faces across poker tables and gunfights to know when someone was spinning tales. Evelyn was telling the truth, or at least her version of it. You can stay here until you heal, he said. Then I'll take you to the next territory, help you disappear. Evelyn's eyes filled. You'd do that? I would. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. She laughed, bitter and broken. No one does the right thing. Not for people like me. Then I'll be the first. Evelyn looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded, wiping her eyes. Thank you, Cole Brennan. He stood uncomfortable with her gratitude. Get some rest. I'll keep watch. But rest didn't come easy that night. Not for either of them. Around midnight, Cole heard her crying, soft and muffled into the pillow. He pretended not to notice, staring into the fire, his hands clenched. He'd told himself he was done with other people's problems, done with violence, with risk, with caring, but here she was, bleeding and broken in his cabin, and he couldn't walk away, wouldn't. The next morning, Evelyn woke with a fever. Cole spent the day cooling her with damp cloths, forcing water down her throat, checking the wound for infection. The stitches held, but her skin was hot to the touch, her breathing shallow. Don't you die on me, he muttered, more to himself than to her. She didn't. By evening, the fever broke. She opened her eyes, clear and focused. You're still here. Where else would I be? Most men would have left me. I'm not most men. Evelyn smiled, a real smile, this time, soft and wondering. No, you're not. That night, she asked him about himself. Cole didn't want to talk, but something about the way she looked at him, like he was worth knowing, loosened his tongue. He told her about Kansas, the war, the things he'd done that still woke him up at night, gasping and sick. The men he'd killed, some who deserved it, some who didn't. That's why you're out here, Evelyn said quietly. You're hiding too. Yeah. Do you regret it? What you did? Cole thought about that. Some of it. Not all. That's honest. It's the truth. Evelyn nodded. Then she reached out, her hand finding his. Thank you for telling me. Cole looked down at their joined hands, hers small and scarred, his rough and blood-stained. He should pull away, should keep the distance. but he didn't. The next morning, voices drifted through the trees. Cole was outside chopping wood when he heard them, men, multiple, calling to each other. His blood went cold. He dropped the axe and ran inside. Evelyn was already sitting up, eyes wide. They found me. How many? Marcus never travels with less than 5 men. Cole grabbed his rifle, checked the ammunition. 6 shots. Not enough. Stay down. Don't make a sound. Cole, stay down. He moved to the window, peering through the gap in the shutters. 4 men on horseback, picking their way through the pines, and leading them, tall and sharp-faced, a man in a black coat. Marcus Hale. Cole's finger tightened on the trigger. He could take 2, maybe 3 before they got to cover, but the 4th would get him, and then Evelyn would be alone. Marcus stopped 50 yards out. I know you're in there, Evelyn. Come out, and I'll make it quick. Stay hidden, and I'll burn you out. Cole glanced back at Evelyn. She was trembling, but her jaw was set. Don't let him take me. I won't. Marcus raised his voice. You got 10 seconds, then we light it up. Cole stepped to the door, opened it, and walked out with his rifle leveled. She's not going anywhere. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Who the hell are you? The man who's going to kill you if you don't leave. Marcus laughed. 1 man, 4 of us. You like those odds? Better than yours. The laughter stopped. Marcus's hand moved toward his gun, and behind Cole, Evelyn's voice rang out, clear and strong. Don't shoot him, Marcus, he's my husband. Marcus ##. Cole's heart stopped. Every man in the clearing froze. Marcus stared past Cole, his face twisting with confusion and rage. What did you say? Evelyn stepped into the doorway, one hand pressed to her side, but standing tall. I said he's my husband. Cole Brennan, we married 3 days ago. You're lying. Am I? Evelyn's voice didn't waver. Check the county records in Pinewood. We filed there. Legal and binding. Cole's mind raced. There were no records, no marriage. She was bluffing, a desperate, insane bluff that would get them both killed. The second Marcus called it, but Marcus hesitated. His eyes flicked between Cole and Evelyn, calculating. You expect me to believe you married this? Nobody. 3 days after killing my brother, I didn't kill Daniel. He attacked me, and Cole stopped him. Daniel ran, and we heard later he died of his wounds. That's not murder. That's self-defense. That's a lie. Then take me to the law. Let them decide. Evelyn lifted her chin. But I'm not your wife anymore, Marcus. The marriage was annulled the day I married Cole. You have no claim on me. Marcus's jaw clenched so hard Cole could hear his teeth grind. You think a piece of paper will stop me? I think 5 witnesses, and a legal filing, will make you think twice about dragging me back in front of a judge. It was brilliant. Insane, but brilliant. If Marcus backed down, they lived. If he didn't, Marcus drew his gun. Cole fired first. The shot took Marcus in the shoulder, spinning him off his horse. The other men scattered, shouting, pulling their own weapons. Cole fired again, missing, and dove back through the door. As bullets tore into the wood around him, Evelyn hit the floor, covering her head. Cole slammed the door shut, shoved the table against it. More shots. Glass shattered from the window. Splinters exploded from the walls. How many bullets you got? Evelyn shouted over the noise. 4 left. We can't win this. I know. Cole moved to the window, fired twice more, forcing the men back, but they were spreading out, circling the cabin. It was only a matter of time before they flanked them or set the place on fire. He reloaded, hands shaking with adrenaline. Evelyn crawled to him, her face pale. I'm sorry. You thought right. It was smart. It didn't work. It bought us time. Cole looked at her, this woman who'd lied to save them both, who'd stood in that doorway, wounded and terrified, and still found the courage to fight. Can you shoot? Yes. He handed her his revolver. Back window. Don't let them get close. Evelyn took the gun, nodded, and moved into position. For the next 10 minutes, they held the cabin, Cole at the front, Evelyn at the back, firing just enough to keep the men at bay. but his ammunition was running low. 2 shots left in the rifle. Evelyn's revolver was down to 1. Then Marcus's voice cut through the chaos. Enough, Brennan. You want to live, you send her out. Otherwise we burn you both. Cole glanced at Evelyn. She shook her head. Don't. I'm not giving you up. Then we die here. Better than what he'll do to you. Evelyn's eyes filled, but she didn't argue. She just moved closer, pressing her back against his, her hand finding his. I'm glad I found you, Cole Brennan. Me too. Outside, the sound of torches being lit, the crackle of flame. Cole's chest tightened. This was it. Then cutting through the tension, hoofbeats, fast and heavy. Everyone froze. A voice boomed across the clearing. Marcus Hale, drop your weapons. You're under arrest. Cole risked a glance through the window. 6 riders, badges gleaming on their chests. The law. How? Marcus shouted back. This is a private matter, Marshal. No concern of yours. Murder's my concern. We got a witness says you and your brother tried to kill a woman. That true? Cole's heart pounded. A witness. Someone had seen. Someone had talked. Marcus's face went white. That's a lie. Then you won't mind coming back to Silver Ridge to answer questions. For a long moment, Marcus stood there, gun still in hand, fury radiating off him like heat. Then slowly, he lowered it. This isn't over, Evelyn. Yes, she called out, her voice steady. It is. The marshal and his men moved in, disarming Marcus and his gang, cuffing them. One of the deputies approached the cabin. You folks all right in there? Cole opened the door, still holding his rifle. We're alive. The deputy nodded. Got a report from a ranch hand who saw what happened. Said Marcus's brother attacked a woman, and she ran. We've been tracking them for 2 days. He looked past Cole at Evelyn. You're safe now, Mom. Evelyn's legs gave out. Cole caught her, held her, as she sobbed into his chest. It's over, he whispered. It's over. But even as he said it, he knew the truth. Marcus might be arrested, but men like him had money, connections. This wasn't over, not really. Phi hash. The marshal took statements. Cole and Evelyn told the truth. Most of it. Left out the part about the fake marriage. The deputies seemed satisfied, and by afternoon, they'd ridden off with Marcus and his men in custody. Cole and Evelyn stood in the clearing, watching them disappear into the pines. What now? Evelyn asked quietly. Now you rest, heal, and then I'll take you wherever you want to go. She turned to face him. And if I don't want to go anywhere? Cole blinked. What? I lied to Marcus about us being married, but she hesitated, then pushed forward. What if we didn't? What if we made it real? Cole's heart lurched. Evelyn, I know it's crazy. I know you don't owe me anything, but I have nowhere to go, no money, no family, and you. She searched his face. You've been kind to me. You didn't have to be, but you were, and I think, her voice cracked. I think maybe we could help each other. You're lonely, I'm alone, we could try. Cole stared at her, his mind spinning. He'd spent 3 years avoiding exactly this connection, risk the possibility of losing someone again. But Evelyn wasn't asking for love, she was asking for partnership, survival. You don't know me, he said. Not really. I know you saved my life. I know you stood between me and men who wanted to kill me. I know you're a good man, even if you don't believe it. She took his hand. That's enough for me. Is it enough for you? Cole looked down at their joined hands, thought about the empty years ahead, the silence, the loneliness he'd convinced himself was penance, and then he thought about this woman, fierce, broken, and still fighting. Yeah, he said quietly, it's enough. Evelyn's face lit up, and for the first time since he'd met her, she looked hopeful. So we'll do it. Make it real. We'll do it. They rode to Pinewood the next day. The town clerk married them in a dusty office that smelled like old paper and tobacco. No flowers, no guests, just 2 people making a choice to survive together. When the clerk pronounced them husband and wife, Cole felt something shift in his chest. Not love, not yet, but possibility.
They rode back to the cabin in comfortable silence. That night, Cole gave Evelyn the bed and took the floor. She protested, but he insisted. "You're still healing, Cole." "Yeah, thank you, for everything." He nodded, staring at the ceiling. "Get some sleep, Evelyn." "Evelyn Brennan now." He smiled despite himself. "Get some sleep, Mrs. Brennan." Days passed. Evelyn grew stronger. She helped with chores, cooking, mending, tending the horses. Cole taught her to shoot better, to track, to read the weather. They worked side by side, learning each other's rhythms, finding a balance. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Evelyn spoke. "Do you think Marcus will come back?" "Maybe, but we'll be ready." She nodded, then leaned her head on his shoulder. Cole stiffened, then slowly relaxed. It had been so long since anyone had touched him with anything other than violence. "I'm glad I found your cabin," Evelyn said softly. "Me too," and he meant it. Winter came early that year. Snow blanketed the pines, and the cabin became a world unto itself, warm, safe, insulated from everything outside. Cole and Evelyn fell into a routine. He chopped wood, she cooked, he fixed the roof, she mended clothes. They talked, slowly peeling back layers, sharing pieces of themselves. Evelyn told him about her mother, dead since childhood, her dreams of running a bakery someday, her fear that she'd never be more than what men made her. Cole told her about the girl he'd loved in Kansas, dead in a fire set by raiders, the guilt that had driven him west, the belief that he didn't deserve happiness. "That's stupid," Evelyn said bluntly one night. Cole blinked. "What? You think you don't deserve happiness? That's stupid." She poked the fire, sparks rising. "Bad things happened to you. Bad things happened because of you, but that doesn't mean you're bad. It means you're human. I killed people, Evelyn, so did I. Remember." Cole fell silent. "We can't change the past," Evelyn continued, "but we can choose what we do now, and I choose this. You, us." She looked at him, firelight dancing in her eyes. "Do you?" Cole's throat tightened. He'd spent so long running from himself, he'd forgotten what it felt like to stand still, to let someone see him. "Yeah," he said, "I do." Evelyn smiled, then she stood, crossed to where he sat and kissed him, soft, tentative, asking. Cole froze, then kissed her back, his hands finding her waist, pulling her closer. When they pulled apart, she whispered, "I think I'm falling in love with you, Cole Brennan." His heart hammered. "I think I already am." They moved slowly that winter, building something fragile and real. By spring it felt less like survival, and more like a life. Marcus never came back. They heard later that he'd been convicted on multiple charges: assault, attempted murder, fraud. He'd die in prison. Evelyn cried when she heard, not from sadness but relief. "It's really over. It's really over. It's really over." They stayed in the cabin for 2 more years. Then, restless and ready, they sold it and moved to a small town in Montana. Evelyn opened her bakery. Cole worked as a farrier. They built a house, adopted a dog, planted a garden, and every night, when they sat on the porch watching the sun set, Evelyn would take his hand and say, "I'm glad I stumbled through your door," and Cole would smile and answer, "Best thing that ever happened to me." Years later, when people asked how they'd met, Cole would tell the story simply: "She was dying, I helped her, and somehow, we ended up saving each other." Evelyn would add, "He gave me shelter, I gave him a reason to stop hiding." And their children, 2 girls with their mother's gray eyes, and their father's quiet strength, would listen and understand that love didn't always start with a spark. Sometimes it started with a choice to be kind, when it was easier to be cruel, a choice to stay when it was safer to run, a choice to believe that broken people could build something whole. Mitter, a cabin in the pines, windows glowing warm against the snow. Inside, 2 people sit by the fire, older now, grayer, but still holding hands. On the mantel, a small wooden sign, carved by hand, "Brennan, Estate 1882, and beneath it, quieter, almost hidden. The night she called me husband,